Hello, what we're going to be doing in this video is how you can go ahead and use Python to parse CSV files and extract data that you want to turn into information. So one simple way to store data in a text file is to write the data as a series of values separated by commas, which is called a comma-separated values. The resulting files are called CSV files. So let me just go ahead and pull up an example of a CSV file. So what we have here is we have weather information from the Phoenix weather station. It's from June 1st of this year through August 31st of this year. So, and what it contains the station name, the station, the name of the station, the date that the information was reported, the precipitation, the snow, the temperature average, temperature max, and temperature min for that day. And all those values are separated by commas. So Python CSV module in the standard library parses the lines in a CSV files and allows us to quickly extract the values we're interested in. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and start by examining the first line of the file, which contains a series of headers for the data. So what I want to do is I want to create a new file, so I'll just go ahead and create that, and what it'll be is first thing I need to do is import my CSV, and then I'm going to specify the path to my file, the path and the file name that I will be working with. So the path is just CIS 156. Oh, but I need my C colon, CIS 156, module 10, and then it is phoenix.csv. So what we've done on that line is we've assigned the name of the file we're working with to the file name. The next thing we want to do is open the file and assign the resulting file object to F. So that's our next step. So with open file name, and it will be as F. So now we've opened the file name with that command, our phoenix.csv file. So the next thing we want to do is we call the CSV reader and pass in the file object as an argument to create a reader object associated with that file, and then we assign the reader object to reader. So what we're going to do here is it'll just be reader will get assigned our CSV reader F. And basically what that does is it assigns the information in the file to our CSV reader, so we can go ahead and use commands to read through the file. What we want to do is we want to first go ahead and grab the header row. So I will just go ahead and set up a variable called header row, and that will equal, and there is a next function which returns the next line in the file when past the reader object. So what we're going to do is we're just going to call it once so we can grab the headers from the file. So let's go ahead. So we'll read the first line, and then what we're going to do after that is we're going to go ahead and print our header row. Okay, so we will go ahead and run this information, run our program. Go ahead, save it out as test. We want to replace it, and what we have here is we have all the header information that has actually been saved into a list for us. So what the reader object does is it processes the first line of comma-separated values in the file and stores each item each as an item in a list. The header station represents the code for the weather station that recorded this data. The position of this header tells us that the first value in each line will be the weather station code. The name header indicates the second value in each line is the name of the weather station that made the recording. The information that we're going to be want to look at is the TMAX, or high temperature. So that's the information that we're going to want to extract from the file. So to make it easier to understand the file header data, we can print each header and its position in the list. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we'll type 4, and then it'll be index and column header. So the first value will be the index, the second value will be the column header. And what we can do is there's an enumerate function that returns both the index of each item and the value of each item as you loop through a list. So we will go ahead and run this on our header row. And we're just going to go ahead and print our index and our column header. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. So now what we should do is we should get a list with the index 0, 1 through 8 and the actual column header. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using that index instead of hard coding in that we're looking for index number 7. We're going to go ahead and use the index header to grab the row that our Tmax is located in, or column. That way, if you use another file where it may not be located in the same column, you can still find it and grab that information. So all we have to do for that is we just go ahead. I am going to go ahead and delete this row right here. And what I'm going to do is if our column underscore header equals our Tmax, then I'll just go ahead and put temp index equal to index, and then just to verify that I found the right one, I am going to go ahead and print temp index. So when we looked at that print statement before, the Tmax was in the 7th index. So let's go ahead and see if we actually pull that information out. Yep, we pulled it out of index number 7. So we've grabbed the right column index that we need to pull our Tmax information from. So what we're going to do next now is we're going to go ahead and grab the high temperatures from this file. So we're going to go ahead and set up, initialize a list called highs. And then we're just going to iterate for row in reader. And it'll be our high will equal, and then we want to convert these values to integers. And then what it'll be is the row that we're looking for is our temp index. And then we will just go ahead and append high to highs. And then after that, I will just go ahead and print my highs. And I am going to delete this print temp index up above. So let's go ahead and run this. Go ahead, save it, invalid syntax. Oh, I need to put an equal sign there. Sorry about that. Initializing the array, we'll go ahead and run it. Print highs. Oh, I'm not doing too good here. I need to put this in parentheses every time you print something. Okay, print highs. We'll go ahead, run it. Source code is saved. So now it looks like we pulled all the high temperature values from the CSV file. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and use some of the list functions that are available to gather some information about the highs, the lows, and the average temperature during that time period in Phoenix. So again, if we look at the code really quickly, on this line right here, we made an empty list called highs, and then what we do is we loop through the remaining rows in the file. The reader object continues from where it left off in the CSV file and automatically returns each line following its current position. Because we've actually read the header row, the loop will begin at the second line where the actual data begins. On each pass through the loop, we pull the data from our index 7, which corresponds to the header T max, and we assign it to the variable high. And then we use the in function to convert the data, which is stored as a string, to a numeric format so we can use it, and then we append this value to highs. So now that we have that information in a list, we can go ahead and print some statistics about it. The highest temperature was, and we can just go ahead and make use of our max function. We could print out the lowest high temperature was, and let me delete that space up above, min, and we can go ahead and print out the average. And we just need to find the sum of our high, all the sum of the values in highs, and then we just divide it by the length of our highs. So we'll go ahead and rerun it. And the highest temperature was 115, the lowest high temperature was 96, and the average high temperature from June 1st to August 31st was 106.8. So one last thing before I stop the video, I just want to mention where I obtained this data. So if you go out into this link up above, https www.ncdc.noaa.gov, cdo.web. It contains tons of climate data information that is available for reporting weather stations. And how you can discover it is you can just go ahead, click on your search tool, select a data set. What these are daily summaries, and then you specify a date range, and then you could specify a station name like PHX for Phoenix Airport, or a zip code, or a city, and it'll go ahead and bring that information up for you. Some data sets may not have all the information as other data sets, but it is a very handy tool that you can go ahead and grab data that if you want to go ahead and play around with importing data into CSV files and then doing something with that data. So that's all I had for this video. So we will go ahead and talk to you later.